Hello, Willard Wildcat family. Mrs. Smith here, your neighborhood-friendly art teacher with another drawing challenge for you. Now, this drawing challenge, I cannot take credit for. I actually took this out of a book from one of my favorite authors. Her name is Linda Berry. This is one of her books. She is actually a creative writing professor, and she uses these targeted art lessons to help her students craft short stories, novels, essays, but they start with these doodles. And so we're going to take a page out of her book, no pun intended, and we are going to do a little drawing exercise. But ultimately, my hope is that we can use this idea of these drawing exercises to help us think about how to take notes better in this distance learning environment. So let's Quentin Tarantino that and start from the beginning. To get started, we are going to need just two things. You're going to need something to draw with, and you're going to need something to draw on. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm going to use a Sharpie in my sketchbook, but it's up to you, however you guys want to draw today. And I'm going to set my timer for about 60 seconds while you guys take a moment and go gather something to draw with and something to draw on. Teachers that are presenting this, if your group needs more time, please feel free to pause this video and give them more time. But I will see all of you guys back here in just a few minutes. Something to draw with and something to draw on. See you soon. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a moment to grab a drawing utensil and something to draw on. I have shifted over in your frame, so hopefully popping up over my shoulder here is my setup. I've got my sketchbook and my trusty Sharpie, and we're going to set up our paper for our time drawings. Now, we are going to do two subjects today, subjects that are going to be very familiar to you, and we're going to do each of those two subjects 3 different times. But what's going to be interesting is that the 3 different drawings are going to be set for 45 seconds, 30 seconds, and then the last drawing, you're only going to get 10 seconds on. So I know as soon as we say like time drawings, we're like, oh my gosh, it's okay. All right. It's all about just getting your information down on the page. And we're going to start with just slowing it down to make sure that we get our framework set up properly. So here we go. 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3. That's our first subject. Remember, we're going to do 45 seconds. We're going to do 30 seconds. And then we're going to do 10 seconds. Okay? And then we'll go ahead and set up the second one here so that we're ready to rock and roll when the time comes. No pun intended. You know puns are totally intended. Again, 45 seconds, 30 seconds, and 10 seconds. Okay? So at this time, teachers that are presenting this video, if you need to take a moment and pause it to make sure that all of our friends have their framework set up, please do so. Okay, so we should all be set up for our time drawings now, and we're ready for our first subject. And the first subject is something that we are all very familiar with because it is inside of each one of us. It is a skeleton. And I know what you're thinking. I know what a skeleton looks like, but what I want you guys to do is close your eyes and visualize a skeleton with me. No peeking. You're totally peeking. That's okay. Think about what a skeleton looks like. Think about the actual skull, the rib cage, the hips, and all those little tiny bones that go into creating a skeleton. And we are going to have 45 seconds as the first time drawing of a skeleton. So I'm going to pop over to show just my book and the timer. and we are going to get ready to draw our 45-second skeleton.
Here we are getting ready to do our first 45-second time drawing. Thinking about skeletons, we have 45 seconds on the clock. On your mark, get set, go. Now, 45 seconds is actually more time than you think it is. I'm just thinking about all the different shapes that put my skeleton together and all the different bones, upper arm, lower arm, lower arm, hand, and all those little metacarpals down there at the bottom. Hip joints, upper leg, lower leg, 10 seconds left, upper leg, lower leg. Here we go. I see my skeleton has gone outside the box. That is fine. We are artists. We make our own rules. In my last few seconds, I'm just adding some details to the different joints and done. Whew. Okay, I feel like I did pretty good. I feel like I got all the information down that I wanted to. Now I'm going to take this idea and I'm going to go over here to the 30-second mark. We are going to put 30 seconds on our clock over here. And we are going to draw the skeleton for a second time, but this time only 30 seconds. So think about what you really need to get down in order for your audience to view it as a skeleton, okay? So on your mark, get set, go. Okay, obviously the skull. The skull is, I think, very, very important here. Shoulder blades, upper arm, lower arm. You can see this one's going to be a little bit more gestural because it's a little bit more simplified because of the time, but still trying to get as much of those little details in as I can. He still goes off the paper. That is okay. Little tiny carpals there. There we go. And time. Okay, so you can definitely tell that this skeleton is a lot more simplified than my first one, but still got the information down that I wanted to. But now comes the really, really big challenge. We are going to only have 10 seconds on the clock. And this goes into to note-taking, guys. You don't have a whole lot of time, you know, to get the information down when your teacher is talking. So really you want to focus on the big major points. So when you only have 10 seconds to get a skeleton down on the paper, let's think about the major things that we really need to get down. We're talking obviously the skull and just basic bone structures. Maybe your bone structure is just a stick figure at this point, but we will see. So here we go. 10 seconds to do a skeleton, 10 seconds on the clock. Deep breath, deep breath. On your mark, get set, go. 10 seconds flies by, as you guys know. Done. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, that went by really, really quickly, but it does resemble the skeleton in the previous two timings, and that's really, really good. But it still gives me a good idea as to what the information is there. So let's use this format of 45, 30, and 10, and let's talk about our next subject.
Okay, guys, you're doing great. Skeletons, I'm sure, turned out wonderfully. Hopefully, you guys will have a moment maybe to share those a little bit later on. For our second subject, we are going to think about and we're going to visualize the most delicious lunch you have ever had in your whole life. So I'm thinking personally like a burger, probably a veggie burger, some French fries, even though they're not so good for me, and a big Diet Coke. I've been jonesing for a Diet Coke and a burger lately, so this is really fitting into my wheelhouse right now. So again, just like the skeleton, I want you to really think about what the perfect lunch looks like to you, and let's get ready to set up for our 45 seconds.
Okay, so we are talking lunch, okay? We are talking a delicious lunch. So whatever that means to you, let's think about that. For me, it's going to be a big burger and fries and a Coke. So we have 45 seconds on the clock, 45 seconds to draw the perfect lunch. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, so let's start with the burger. I used to love to go out and get burgers, you know, when we were allowed to leave the house. Patty, I like mine with some cheese. tomato, and lettuce. Bun on the bottom, very important. I'm going to put that guy on a nice plate. In the background, there's going to be just a big old serving of fries. Delicious, delicious. And baby back here is a Coke. 10 more seconds. Cool. That looks good. Yum, yum. There we go. Okay, so I've got my my lunch all set and ready to go for my 45 seconds. I have reset my clock to 30 seconds. And let's think about what I really want to get down here over here. I think I could probably get as much of this information from here to here. It just might be a little bit more sloppy. So here we go. 30 seconds on the clock. On your mark, get set, go. Okay, still gonna build my bun first. I don't know why. Lettuce, tomato, another lettuce, bottom of the bun. I really like to have it when you've got like a pickle on the top. Put that all on a plate. Yep, over here and get my fries working here. And you absolutely cannot forget the Diet Coke. So good. Ta-da! Time. All right, you can tell that it is a little bit more sloppy, but still all there. Here comes, like last time, guys, the real challenge is you have 10 seconds to draw the perfect lunch. So here we go. On your mark, get set, go. Bun, lettuce, tomato, another bun, on a plate, fries, and a Diet Coke. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. 10 seconds in and out, just like that. And still got all of my information down, and it is still recognizable as a beautiful lunch. So what a wonderful little time drawing exercise we did, guys.
Hey, scholars, great job. Thank you so much for following along with our little art challenge today. And a couple of different times throughout our video, I was talking a little bit about note-taking. And the biggest thing that I know my son and my daughter struggle with at home in this distance learning environment is just getting the information that they need to. So if I can encourage you to do anything through all of this, is just to always have a pencil and a paper with you while you are distance learning. That way you can just write down any really important dates or notes that your teacher throws out at you. Think about our 10-second drawing as compared to our 45-second drawing. When you guys are taking notes, you're thinking 10-second drawing. Just what highlights do you need to include in your notes? What are the big main ideas? So even if as your teacher is talking, you only write down 2 or 3 things, that is 2 or 3 things that are going to help remind you and jog your memory for when the class starts up the next time. So again, if I can encourage you to do anything as a result of our practice this morning, is just to have a pencil and a paper with you at all times so that you are always prepared to write down important information or doodle as you guys are talking during class, and this will all help you remember and retain that information. So again, guys, thank you so much for following along with our challenge today, and I will see you next time.